I wanted to share some of my reading goals for this year because I don't want to just read more. I want to read more classics specifically because I feel like I just didn't read a lot of the typical books that most people read in high school. So now I'm wanting to do it as an adult because I feel like, one, I can appreciate them better and understand them better as an adult with a fully formed frontal lobe. And I want to understand and appreciate classic literature and just have a better understanding, a deeper understanding of it, and be able to really take in the themes or the symbolism or whatever it may be within the books and really be able to analyze it and appreciate it. So I wanted to share some of the books that I'm going to be focusing on this year, and I want to take time to go through them and kind of understand them better, and I want to be able to talk about it with other people who really care and know what they're talking about. And yeah, because I don't have a book club or anything, so I don't have people I can talk to or whatever about it, except for my husband. I'm interested in diving in deeper to some of these. But to start off, the first one that I actually already finished this year, but I saw the movie for this book and I loved it and I knew I immediately had to read it. And it is sort of partly why I'm inspired to read more classics this year, and that is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Guillermo del Toro's movie version of this book was so good. I think he just really did such an amazing job, not just across the board, the costuming, everything, the story, the way even though he changed parts of it, I know people were mad because he did change quite a bit, even though it says it was going to be a true adaptation of the book. He did change quite a bit of the story, but I like the changes that he made. I feel like it sort of still held true and captured the, emotion maybe of the book. I really love this. It's an easy read for the most part. It does have a little of that old-timey dramatic language that sometimes you sometimes have to take a little bit more time to understand and read, but it is still a pretty easy read overall. And I just regret not reading this sooner in my life because my little goth emo heart just absolutely loved this. So I definitely want to go back and potentially reread and analyze this book deeper because I think it's going to be one of my favorites for the year. And next up, this is another book I want to read before the movie comes out, and that is Wuthering Heights by Brontë. I have started it. As you can tell, I'm not very far, but this book is already proving to be quite difficult to read. Once again, very old-timey language that's just, you have to really kind of sit there and think about it a little bit harder than you normally would. I have about a month till the movie comes out, so I'm hoping I can read it. That's why I'm starting it now, because I'm kind of worried. I saw so many people say it was a hard read, so I'm hoping I can at least get maybe the majority of the way through this before the movie comes out. We'll see. And I know that's another controversial film that people are not super excited about because of the way it's being portrayed, at least in the trailers and stuff like that, but I'm still excited because it looks like a very beautiful movie, and it reminds me a lot of Guillermo's version of Frankenstein. Very dramatic coloration and costuming, and I'm just very excited. Regardless of how true or not it is to the story, I'm just excited because it looks like a very beautiful, well done movie. Luckily, this copy specifically has some translations of stuff at the bottom of the pages. It has some annotations. I don't know if you can see that, so that does help a little bit, but still quite a tough read. So far. We're gonna get through this. And this next one I just picked up from the library the other day because I started reading the introduction and it immediately hooked me, and that is The Bluest by Toni Morrison. I've heard a lot of book talkers say that this is one of the best books, one of their favorite books, and I've read Beloved. I read that in college, so I do know a little bit of Toni Morrison, but I think this is one that people tend to say is the best out of all of them. I don't know, but that's what I've seen at least. So, and I just started reading the introduction and just got immediately hooked. So I don't know when I'll be able to read this book because I have I have 3 other books going right now, but we'll see. I might have to renew it a couple times from the library. I'm excited to read it nonetheless. It is a book that I'm committed to reading that sometime this year. Don't know if it'll be right now. I might have slightly overcommitted on my reading goals for the month. And this next one also feels very appropriate for the year 2026 and the state of the world that we're living in right now, and that is 1984 by George Orwell. I just read Animal Farm last year, at the end of last year, and it was so good, so I am excited to read this. I don't know if excited is the correct word, but you know what I mean. Once again, shockingly, I've never read this. I think we read Brave New World in high school at one point, I think. But I've never read George Orwell till last year, I think. Animal Farm was the first time I ever read it, so I've been missing out on my life. Can you tell? I think to take a quick pause here, I think some of the books that I read in high school were, the ones that stick out to me at least were, we read Romeo and Juliet, we read Les Mis, which I remember actually liking. We read an abridged version of Les Mis, but I actually really liked it. My junior year of high school, we read a lot of like shorter stories. So I've read like some Edgar Allan Poe and like Ralph Waldo Emerson, people like that. But I feel like I just missed out on a lot of these like classic literature that most people tend to read in high school. And these next two are more of just about reading this author in general, because I've never read any of her work, sorry. And that is Jane Austen. I have Persuasion and Emma, and I also have Sense and Sensibility on my bookshelf. I love these like old Borders classics. Does anybody remember the bookstore Borders? I love these. I just got these from the thrift store. But yeah, my husband loves Jane Austen. He made me watch Pride and Prejudice the other day. And so I feel like I need to read some of her work to understand and get on the Jane Austen hype train, so to speak. And last but not least, I have East of Eden by John Steinbeck. I did read Of Mice and Men in high school, and I remember really liking it. And I read The Pearl a little over a year ago. A lot of book talkers say that this is like one of their favorite books. It's a masterpiece. It's his best work. So I am excited to read this, even though it is quite a beast, but I am excited to read it. So I can't wait to read this. It'll probably be later in the year, but I am excited to start this. Anyway, that is kind of some of my reading list, my TBR for the year of 2026. I'm gonna be reading some other stuff. I actually just finished Heart of the Lover, and I read Frankenstein, and I'm currently reading Monstrilio. I don't actually know how to pronounce it, but this is the year of good books and a lot of classics. So I'm excited to get started, and let me know in the comments what your reading goals, your focus is this year, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.